I knew God was real when I was brought out of my delusion. What I mean by my delusion is I was raised most of my life in America to where the biggest obstacle is ourselves. To where if you are melanated and you come from a certain neighborhood, or you come from a certain city, or you come from a certain state, you have this crab in a bucket mentality of people trying to bring you down and trying not to allow you to escape the self-hate and the self-deprecation of the community, of the environment that you're in. And this has been continuous time after time after time after time again, that if you do not unite yourself with the culture, then you are against the culture, and therefore you are an enemy, and that you are trying to be something that you are not. And you see, I never knew I was black, and I'm speaking that figuratively speaking, because I was raised by immigrants who didn't allow me to look at myself through my skin color. But when you are raised in an environment to where that is all that is heightened, that is all that what is talked about, that you are not black, if you are not this, you are not black, if you don't do this, that it starts to really seep in and destroy you. And as I got older and had more experience with different type of people, to see that I wasn't living this life that was exclusive to me, that I wasn't going through these adversities and the struggles that were unique to my said people of being black, that I was truly having a human experience. Because as I got to travel and I got to see the world and I got to talk to people and I got to touch them and I got to have compassion and hear their stories and hear their narratives and hear the things that they went through, that nothing in comparison to what I went through could even compare to what they had faced and what they endured in their lives. That we have all gone through some type of enslavement, and we are still enslaved. That we have all gone through some type of war. That we have all gone through some type of hardships and pain and losses. And that some people around this beautiful world are going through way more hardships, facing way more atrocities that we can ever endure in America. It's just in different capacities. You see, I was losing mates to the street. I was losing family members to crimes and all sorts of sin. And across the world, you see the same thing. Sometimes it's heightened, and sometimes it works at a lower level. But sin has a uniformity. And because the adversary likes to keep us divided, he likes to work in division, he creates this notion that we should look at race. That since we are, he wants us to be colorblind, but also wants us to see color, if that makes sense. So he wants us to be colorblind in how we see black and white. And in our black and white thinking, we still see color, and to think that I'm different because this person looks like this, that this person has never gone through this, that because of their skin tone or because of they come from this part of the world. But when, like I say, when you travel, when you get to talk to these people, when you get to learn their history, and when you get to truly embellish into their culture, you learn that they are no different from us. That yeah, they speak different languages, that yeah, they have different culture, aesthetics, that yeah, they have differences, but when you truly look at the minutia of the situation and the details, you see that there's sameness, that there is only truly one human race. And I know I used to have this belief that, that's kind of corny, there's only one human race. Well, clearly there's different races, but truly there's only one human race. And that the adversities and the traumas that I went through, I was very privileged, and I was very blessed that I didn't have to endure some of the things that my grandfathers had to go through being as immigrants, that I didn't have to endure some of the things that my brothers and sisters in Africa or in Asia or in Australia or New Zealand or all across the world and anywhere around the world that they had to face. Yet people are truly facing persecution and hardships for believing in God, for trying to practice. And I'm living in a country to where I can believe and have Christianity and actually have a voice and have an opinion. That I am so privileged that I cannot sit here and ride my high horse and to feel that this pain is only exclusive. You know? And I think that's truly what strengthens my faith and strengthens my love for Jesus every single day. It makes me want to go out here and spread the good news. It makes me want to evangelize. It makes me want to connect with other humans because we are all brothers and sisters. And I know that can sound corny, but it truly is the truth, because when you read that Bible and you see the words and you actually see them play out in real time, you can't help but think, how great is our God? It's almost so surreal how God works. Just because I was raised Muslim and just because I was raised in a certain type of way, that even before I knew God, God knew me. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a feeling to where it makes you want to cry, like burst out in tears of joy. Because it's like, what made me so worthy, God? Like, I didn't even know you. I was a whole nother religion. I knew nothing. Like, I knew some things of you because I've had Christian mates, but I was so far away from you. And yet you still came out in my destruction. You still came out when I was going against you. You still came out when I was searching in other religions and other false practices, and you brought me out of that. You brought me out of the hellfire. How great is our God? And He continuously does it every day, because I'm seeing, like I said, I'm seeing an uptick of Christian people on YouTube. I'm seeing evangelists spread their word. I'm seeing God rise, because the devil has risen. And the wave that the devil has created is starting to cascade. But how great our God is. He's equipped us with the strength. He's equipped us with the knowledge to surf that wave, to come out on top, to come out victorious. That yeah, we might get a couple scrapes and bruises, and some might face death, that there will be loss. But it's not in vain, because that's the devil's game. That's not God's game. That's not what God doesn't play any games. You see, only the adversary plays games. Only the adversary likes to keep us in division, keep us oppressed. But God, when you exalt God, He exalts us over the adversary. He allows us to step on the adversary. He allows us to have dominion in this world. 2 years ago, I came from not being able to pay my rent. I came from dibbling, dabbling, and selling drugs. And then as soon as I chose to follow God and to trust Him and to have that faith and to not worry, God took me from a city in North Carolina, Winston-Salem, to across the world, to across, the United States, to Seattle, to where I got to work with brilliant people. Now I'm here back home in Australia, to where I get to work with even more numerous people, that I get to coach, and that I get to do the things that I love, and that I don't have to worry about money. Now I'm traveling the world, and I'm learning these cultures, and I'm learning, and I'm seeing these people, and I'm getting to laugh with them, and I get to smile with them. And even if we don't speak the same language, I get to see them. And that to see that, yeah, there is some racism in the world, but I think that it is from the ignorance or the lack of knowing this person, right? Because when we truly look at the characteristics of a person, that when we truly, really judge a person by their fruits, to see that if they are rotten or if they're good fruits, and if they can provide and the nourishment and they can seed to produce other fruits, that they are a person no matter what color they are. That I have met great people who have helped me, who didn't look like me, but they were truly my brothers and sisters. And I want to continue to allow those type of people to come, that I was under this false impression that when a friend hurts me, that's truly not my friend. But a friend who doesn't hurt me is my friend. And I don't know if I just said that right, but what I'm saying is that people who tell you the truth love you, and people who will hide and just go along with what you're trying to do are the enemies in disguise. I know there was a better way to say that, I just didn't know how to say it. But you have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to be able to change your perspective. You have to stop feeling like you are being bogged down. You are being pigeonholed. That one set of people is being cursed by God. We all have fallen short. We all have sinned, and it's in our hearts to do evil. And God understands that. And that's why he begot a son, Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, to come down and give the ultimate sacrifice. That when we read the Bible and we see the good faith and the good work of God, and we see the salvation that Jesus, his son, was able to walk this earth, and then he died for us, and then he rose 3 days later, that is the ultimate. And he died for all of us, white, brown, yellow, purple, green, whatever color. And how we get back to him is by following his law and his commandments, by truly living faithful, by repenting, by having the salvation for us, and by trying intently to stay away from sin. That yes, we will fall, but we can't be continuous with our sin, and we can't be continuous with falling, and that we have to truly in our hearts want to do the right thing. And we have to be urged to do the right thing. We have to be urged to stand in truth and be firm in it, and not be afraid of the persecutions that can come with when you believe in Jesus and when you believe to follow God.